Board. Hey guys, I pray everyone is doing okay through this weird time that we live in, or we're living in right now. I have a few things. I kind of want to watch the Motivation Monday call together with you guys. And I was going to tell you everything I'm about to tell you right now after. But, because that's normally how I do it, but I feel like I'm supposed to start with what I have to say in case anybody can't stay on later tonight, and you would have to wait until after the Motivation Monday. And that is something that if you don't get to watch all of it with us tonight, you have access to it whenever you'd like. So I don't know about you, but I think it's a weird time to be working your Plexus business in a traditional way, or how we would normally. I'm just going to say like that. I'm just going to say that I feel that it's a weird time to be working your business. And I happen to be a person, I know that I can say that and say, well, Laura, you have the luxury of not having to actually work your business right now. I will tell you something that's really caught my interest though. And that is how many people, and you may have seen a post on my wall concerning this, how many people, even though they are concerned right now in regards to, you know, their own income and what they're spending their money on right now, should they, you know, making all kinds of decisions that are out of the norm with their finances. And I noticed that so many of those people ordered their Plexus products. So that gives you an idea of relevancy in the market and just relevancy in their lives. Like if they never spoke to anyone about Plexus ever, they would still place their order. So I'm kind of in this like weird trap of not knowing exactly how to lead you guys. So I'm going to lead you two different paths and kind of let you choose which of these makes sense to you, or maybe none of it, right? We all have free will. If this past, 8 or 9 days hasn't done anything else, I can say that I could probably confidently say that it has clearly put a magnifying glass on what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck, and how quickly, and I'm going to tell you right now, I have friends that, not just in Plexus, I'm going to go outside of Plexus and have friends that make a significant amount of money, and they're still like, but I can't take a week off. And right, I have been there before, been in that position before. So when we're talking about the relevancy of the products, which is what I hit in the beginning, and when we're talking about the relevancy of an additional stream of income, right? It's two ways in which what we have is very relevant to people. So I can remember I think it was the first convention we ever went to. I could be wrong, but it was the one that Doug Weed, W-E-A-D, was at. He's kind of a political, I think he followed presidencies in the past, and he's a storyteller. And anyway, very entertaining to listen to. You might put you in the mind of like a Paul Harvey-esque type personality. And he got on stage and he told this story about a story about a little baby boy that he knew who grew up with his mama raising him in a friend's garage. Basically, they lived in someone's garage. And I can't remember the exact story of where his mom worked, but she kept him fed with bags of popped popcorn. So maybe she worked at a movie theater or something like that. But he was a little baby, this little boy. And, you know, listening to this man tell this story, I was so wrapped up in it. I was like, oh, what is this story? Oh my goodness. And he ends it by telling us that was his way to introduce none other than Tara Robinson. He grew up like that. And I remember being like, what? Like, he literally introduced him to come out on the stage, meet your whatever his, title was at the time, Charles Robinson. And I was like, what? Like, what did I just listen to? And Charles is a man of few words. That he didn't have to say many words that day to have my utmost attention in regards to his level of gratitude for the industry of network marketing. I believe his mother was eventually, I think she married someone who either was in network marketing prior or got into network marketing at some point. But what I'm saying is his whole life was changed because of a network marketing income. His mother got involved in network marketing as well. And they basically moved their lives from eating popcorn in someone else's garage to stay alive to where he had a foundation of his own that he was able to put in as the financial backing for what we now know as Plexus Worldwide. And I just was like gripped by that story and the relevancy of his story and the way how he talked about, because of the way his mother grew up, because of the way his mother was having to live her life. He said suddenly she became fearless and began to give everything she had to network marketing, of all things. And to me, all week long, since like maybe Thursday of last week, I keep thinking about that story because you don't hear of rags to riches in other industries. You really don't. I'm saying it's a rare story, and we all swoon when we hear those stories, but it's a rare story to find that in the rest of the world. And I guess the reason I'm sharing that with you tonight is because, we weren't eating popcorn out of our garage here, so it wasn't quite that kind of story. But I just remember one day, it was ultimately for me a decision of I didn't care. I suddenly was like, I don't care more about my image, and I'm willing to sell my ego. And I just got lucky in where I chose to sell it. Like lucky, blessed, prayerful, whatever you want to call it. But ego wasn't, I should have let go of my ego long before that, but I decided to trade in my ego or my image and go all in. And all in. And it wasn't for like a week at a time. It wasn't for 2 weeks. It was for about one completely solid year. But I will tell you this, within 5 months, we were making over 10 grand a month, because that's how hard I went, boom, like fast, just as fast as I could. And I realized that the climate is different now for multiple reasons. Social media is a little different now. I realized that there may be other people in your town who already do this now, and there are more now, but the truth is in my town, there are less now. Now, not when the day I started, but there are less now than there in my town who actively work the business. People that I could have had a conversation with back in 2013, I could probably say to them right now, who's your Plexus lady, or something like that, and be like, oh, no, I don't have one anymore. I have people reach out to me regularly who were involved in it at one time in whatever, staggering levels, like staggered levels, who basically are, they went inactive. Maybe they never did sell it. Who knows? All different levels of being involved. And those people now are reaching out to me saying, hey, I'm feeling it now, or I'm feeling it again, or whatever. You understand? I hope you guys are following along with what I'm saying. When I say now, I don't mean yesterday. I mean in the last few weeks. I'm not trying to say they're all of a sudden like like I have some magic touch and suddenly during a weird time in our economy, I have tons of people reaching out to me. I'm not implying that. But I did want to say, my number one concern, and there something was released on my butterfly page just a few minutes ago that is gonna the list I'm about to go down. If you want to take notes, if you like taking notes, go ahead. But the exact list that I wrote down is going to be, it's already, I scheduled it to basically be on my butterfly team page, and I'll put it in the other group too, just a few minutes ago. So I guess if you're in the position, I guess everybody's personality and the position that they're in is different right now. And that's why I was like, I don't know, do we listen to the Monday motivation? Do we talk about the stimulus? And the truth is, for the sake of the fact that this is recorded, regardless of who's on here, I am going to tell you about the stimulus that they released today. In a time when other companies are sending their people home with no pay, this is an unusual thing to put before us, you know, a new incentive. So this is how it goes. Would an extra $600 ease the stress in your home right now? How about $225? Over the next 40 days, Plexus executives have set out to bless 10,000 Plexus families with a $6 million stimulus and plan. I will tell you, I think the word stimulus is kind of an odd choice, honestly. But regardless of my opinion about what they called it, you guys know I'm always keep it real with you. The fact is, it is an incentive. They've discounted welcome packs by 10%, and they've upped the bonus and payouts. This is the part that made me cry. They upped the bonuses and payout timing to 72 hours, where you would normally have to wait on those business building bonuses and stuff, trying to get the money in your pockets. And so here's the incentive. Enroll 3 with a welcome pack. You could get $225 earning potential. Enroll 6, $600 earning potential. And of course, I always point out the relevance of residual income. So that's the beauty of these incentives. Any incentive that is incentivizing you to work on your team, to build your team, my opinion, that is creating future income and not just the 600 initial. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of the point of network marketing, right? Getting paid literally. I had one weird, I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but I had one odd, unusual conversation probably in 2011 or early, no, it would have been 2012. One conversation in a local Big Lots about my toenail, and I had no idea that I was sponsoring my first Diamond Ambassador. Like, that's how would you know, right? Just talking to someone who was basically a stranger, like we were Facebook friends, but we didn't really know each other. That's right. If you have never gone silver, you get an extra 100 for a total of 700. Goodness gracious. So, okay, that's the stimulus plan. Back to my notes. Also, they did a stimulus training today. If you don't know all about the stimulus, I wish I could think of another thing to call it. Anyway, if you don't know all about the incentive, it's in the Plexus Ambassador community page. There are 2 lives in there. One explains the stimulus, the other trains on basically how to work your business, if I'm understanding right. In all transparency, I haven't watched the training one. I just watched them roll it out. So, we are going to watch the Monday motivation, but one thing, I'm going to go down these ideas that I had. I feel like these were really good ideas. For things that you could be doing during your downtime. because I'm looking at the faces of the ones that I know on here, that I know what you do for a living on the side, or and duplexes on the side, I should say. And my brain is going, yeah, that's another example. Oh yeah, that's another example. That's another example where your business may be slow right now, depending on what other business you're in. You know what I mean? And I'm going, yeah, I bet people aren't like calling up Christia and saying, I need a cake right now. You know what I'm saying? Not that that's her only stream of income, but oh, are they? Oh, do tell. I got to hear.
That is actually not true.
Ah! I would have never guessed it, really.
Seriously.
Okay.
I'm surprised too.
Tell me, because this is so interesting to me.
Okay, hang on. I have you on 2 different things.
Okay, you're all right. Sorry.
And I don't like hearing the echo. Whew, there we go. Okay. Actually, I have been very fortunate. People are, I think it's because they want to do something if there's a birthday, and they're with their family, and so they're calling for something, you know, like, oh, do you happen to have any extra? So I actually have been doing, but now I've had weddings canceled.
Yeah.
Some things like that. I've lost my B&B stuff,
Me too.
those things.
Yeah.
There is a guy he's considering a whole month, which would be fabulous. Wow. I won't lie. Yeah. But that hasn't happened yet. He's staying for 2 nights this week, but we'll see, because of the traveling through the states kind of thing. But it hasn't been like call.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
Yeah. It has slowed down, and I post it to just see if anybody wants extra. Like, you can just, because you can still drive through. You can't come in, but I mean, you got to work a lot whenever you're making $35 a cake.
Yeah.
You know, just a 9-inch round cake. You know.
Yeah.
And it might be more expensive somewhere else, but I live in a very rural community, so I can't charge.
Yeah.
You know, for a 9-inch round cake that feeds 20 people, I can't charge $75 for it, you know.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's a whole lot more.
So for those of, and you're even saying you're not, maybe you have some downtime. I know that the Airbnb, yeah, me too. So I had some great ideas for your downtime, and I wanted to share them with you, because it would be, to me, it would be really nice to come out on the other end of whatever this is and think, you know, I used that time well. Like, really pat yourself on the back. Like, I used my time well. I loved on my kids. I spent extra time in prayer, and I actually strategically positioned myself to be ready to take off at a running start once things don't feel weird. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I can't give you a date. I don't know when that's going to be, but I think we'll all know, okay, green light again. You understand? Like, we'll be like, okay, you know, this is not like, honestly, this is not like the World Trade Center thing, right? Like, for like months where people were like, I'm not talking about on social media. I'm talking about, you know, like, I can remember comedians not knowing whether it was okay to go ahead and be funny again. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that this is going to be the same. As a whole, I'm not going to say that there won't be situations and people in situations where it won't be that way, but I'm just saying, as a whole, it's the whole nation, I believe, will come out of this thing booming, the economy and everything. So here are my ideas. Spread joy. Find 10 people to spread joy to every single day. Now, I put this out like a checklist. I encourage you to go down it every day. Increase your water and your supplements. The last thing you want to do is be one of the sickos. You don't want to be running around with the Cororo, okay? Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It'd be a great thing for you to do. I'm just giving you ideas of things that you may have said, oh yeah, I meant to, or she mentioned that before. Okay, I've got the link to it in the list. Set an alarm in your phone for 7:30 Central on Tuesday nights for the team calls. Save the Zoom link in your notes on your phone. I've got all of that there for you in the breakdown. Okay, watch one motivational video daily. And to be honest with you, I encourage you to do it first thing in the morning, because getting up and watching the news right now, I mean, you might as well just like take one of those, one of those things are in a doctor's office and gag me with it. Like, there's no way you'd catch me watching the news right now. Begin really putting time into adding to your list of 64, your list of 100. And if you've never heard of the way to use the yellow pages, literally go through the yellow pages and start in the A's and start with automotive. Okay, who do I know well enough in automotive that I could talk to them? And literally just begin adding to your list, people. And for some of you, if they're like super cold contacts, you're gonna want to have to do something to warm things up first. You understand, right? But I'm not telling you to make a list and start immediately messaging people. I'm telling you, use this time to create the list, to add to the list, work on the list. Then you flip through the A's to the B's. It just gives you categories to help kind of like, what's the word I'm thinking for? Just like memory joggers, I guess, stimulate your brain. Okay. And then reach out to teammates and customers just to check on their well-being. Like, hey, I'm just checking on you. How are you doing? Are the kids making you crazy? I mean, I know you guys were on a spring break. I'm just giving you talking points. I know you guys were on spring break last week, but I know you weren't anticipating being home with them all week this week. What's going on, girl? I believe that this is a great time to do. Oh, I haven't listened to the training yet. Okay. There may be a lot of repeat because I have had so much on my heart. Okay. I would also use this time to set yourself up a nice workspace. If that's something you've always procrastinated on, to make yourself an area and clean off your desk. And to me, just a huge thing to have a space that's completely dedicated to whatever work you do. This work, including, other things that you might be interested in, right? Print out a product price chart. We have new ones because, every time we turn around, right? But I can't keep up with, in my head, I used to be able to, the difference between wholesale, retail, PV, all that. I think that would be a smart thing to hang above your desk. I also believe that having your desk look like you're in operation literally manifests stuff. And having your desk look like you're not in operation or not even having a desk is the opposite of manifesting, to be honest with you. Like, I believe that there's like an attractive, whatever you call it, force to having a product price thing printed out. Having your info in your notes in your phone that's easy to access. Like, for example, when I got really busy in this business, it looked different than when all I was doing was really taking the products. And when I got really busy, I realized I needed to have a place in my notes in my phone where I just kept Plexus info, and especially, get this, my link and how to order, because I was having people ask me, no joke, 4 and 5 times a day. How do I order? Okay. Well, having that link handy with the intention of using it is its own ignition spark. These are things to your position. We're positioning ourselves physically. We're positioning ourselves spiritually, putting an intention out there, right? I would also add in praying over your team members every day. I mean, I do have time on my hands a lot, but there's something really different right now other than the obvious. I'm saying there's something very different here in my brain, where my heart is, what my focus is on. I'm not wasting a lot of time. And if I do start wasting a lot of time, I start thinking, why are you wasting time? Like, that's crazy. Don't be wasting time right now. Let's see. Remove yourself from groups that you don't need to be in any longer. Like, I have so many groups. Like, here's a great idea. While you're messaging people or while you're watching your video in the morning, just make it a thing every day to pull yourself out of, it depends on how many groups you're in. If you're in, like I am, I would need to do 10 a day for several days in a row to get myself out of groups that are no longer relevant, or I don't even know how I got in that group. Remember when you could just add person to the group and without their permission whatsoever? There's no telling. Like, if I went down all my groups, I think it's a great time to do that. Set your settings to see all posts in the Beauty Inside and Out group. That group is interactive, and when it's not interactive, it's apparent. Like, when nobody's talking back and forth to me, when I say something in there, it's like, and that's it's a bad vibe in there is what I'm saying. I wanted to keep the vibe to stay alive, and it will help me very much if you guys will set your posts. So, or set it to where you see the post and comment on the post. It helps everyone if the group feels interactive. And so there's that. I think it's important to know where you would want to send someone at this time if someone did come to you and say, I know I've ignored you for the last 2 years, especially if you know someone who's immunocompromised. I would even reach out to them, honestly. Check in, how are they doing? Because right now it is a scary time for people who are either, there are different staggered levels of why people are immunocompromised. Some people are just that way. Some people have a disease that has it where they're on steroids. Some people, there are lots of reasons. I just say it like that. And then sometimes, like they keep pointing out on the press conferences, sometimes just your immune function has to do with age. But sometimes people know sort of that it's due to neglect in some way, or they've ignored their body trying to tell them something for a long time, and they just keep eating trash and don't ever try to supplement and that type of thing. I believe the world, I'm just prophesying here, but I believe the world is going to be completely different after this is over. Like, I'm talking about, you know how you got to trudge through the mud first, but then you stand up and you go, okay, well, that part's over with now. And I think everything, I think people are going to be open to extra streams of income. I think people are going to be open to all the stuff you've ever said about the immune system. Truly believe it. I prophesy that's so. I declare and decree that's so. People are going to be like, when they see your post, they're going to be like, God, turns out she's not that crazy, right? Also, I'm personally finding it pretty awesome that the majority of my business was built on immune system rather than weight loss right now. That's why everybody's ordering, right? If you were worried about your weight, I mean, back 3 months ago, today you're buying ramen noodles with that same money, right? So you see what I'm saying? Like, if you got into Plexus and your focus has been only on weight loss. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Goodness gracious, I came in because of a promise of weight loss. So I encourage you to stay active, but not obsessed in non-Plexus groups on social media. Post stuff in those groups daily. And the reason why is because it doesn't have to be Plexus stuff. I'm not telling you to post Plexus stuff. I think that if you go radio silent on Facebook right now, you have to wake Facebook up again, and nobody wants to have to do that. When this is all said and done, you want it to be ripe and ready, interactive. I see Facebook, I get a visual of Facebook when I start talking like this. Like, Facebook is its own little city. And if you let your neighborhood go to sleep, you have to wake it back up. That's how I see it. And so, even though you may want to just scroll, or maybe you want to just veg on the TV, spend some time every day. You don't have to spend hours. In fact, I encourage you not to spend hours. I encourage you to, like, set yourself a 15-minute timer, go do it, and then that's done. In fact, pretty much everything should be on a 15-minute timer. Everything you do in Plexus, you should do a 15-minute timer. Otherwise, you will end up in the land known as burnout, and nobody wants to be there. So 15 minutes, even if you didn't burn yourself out with Plexus, it would be really easy to blame it on Plexus because you burned yourself out social media or something like that, you're like, oh, all that time I wasted on Plexus. And people will tell me that sometimes, and I'm like, oh, girl, I actually know you. That was not income producing. Like, I wasted a lot of time, but it was like a social media suck, not actually Plexus. Do you see what I mean? In most cases, I can't speak for everyone. I've learned how to disclaim myself this week. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I've learned how to say, well, this is what I'm going to say. Disclaimer. I'm not a doctor. And here's the other thing I'm going to say is I'm also not in the government. So I have no idea. I just tell you what I think, girl. Anything else you want to know, I just tell you what I think. So, the disclaimer. Okay. So, we're going to watch this together. I urge you that if any of this stood out to you, as in things that you could do right now, like literally reach out to 10 people while we're listening. I am one of those people, I don't multitask well if I really need to be focused hardcore, but I can listen to a podcast and message people at the same time. Do you understand? So I think that if you are one of those people who can't, then don't, you know, like I'm your boss. Okay. That's the whole point of this. Ain't nobody nobody's boss. Here we go. I need to do this in the right order so I don't mess it up. Okay. Oh, is it going to be that smooth this week? Okay. Hold on. I think I'm a few seconds in, but I'm not going to back it up because I am not taking the chance of messing it up. And 3, 2, 1.
About that, because I think when things like this happen, we kind of freeze and ask ourselves, should we do what we really know we should be doing? Like, that to me is really the crux of the question. And I want to tell you this, never underestimate your ability to create connection and trust during times of need. So if all else fails, I want you to go to connecting and building trust. I want you to go to connecting and helping people. And I really think most people underestimate the value that this truly offers to people, to be there for people, to just connect with people, to be empathy and concern for people. Now is the time that people are going to remember Plexus. So, you know, a month from now, 2 months from now, 6 months from now, people are going to remember how Plexus responded during this time. And this is our moment, y'all. This is our moment to show people where our heart really is. This is our moment to tell people what our mission is really all about. This is a moment where we get to step outside of ourselves and what scares us and what makes us feel funny about sharing and what holds us back, and literally start throwing life preservers to people, right? In the form of connection and trust. And I want you to think about that for a minute. I want you to think about the image of throwing people life preservers. You know, why wouldn't you throw someone a life preserver? There's no good reason to not throw out a life preserver. Even if someone didn't need it, they would grab it and you could pull them back in, right? Even if someone didn't need it, they wouldn't say, oh, don't, you know, people would thank you. Thanks for thinking of me. Thanks for helping me. I didn't need the help, but thank you for thinking of me if I did need the help. And so I really want to impress upon you this slide here, to never underestimate the value of creating connection and trust and your ability. There's nothing more duplicatable than connecting and creating trust with people. And I know a lot of people will ask at this point in time, like, should I be selling? Right? Should I be selling? I wonder if I should actually be selling. Anybody wonder that? Next slide, please. Right? Should I be selling? I don't even know if I should be selling now. Yeah, I think that's a fair question to ask y'all. And the answer is yes. Yes. With a spirit of help and service. So this is totally and completely the time to learn and practice how to make it about other people versus making about our needs. And I tell you that because I've been there. I tell you that because we can get wrapped up in the earning of the things. We can get wrapped up in the thing that we need for our career or our business. But now is the time to totally turn outward at people, to open your heart to people, to learn how to listen to people, to learn how to love on people regardless of what they say. Because when you're standing there with a life preserver, you are a beacon of hope to everyone around you. I want you to really understand and embrace that, because we're in the business of providing help, and there's a lot of worried people right now. There are people who are worried about their health. There are people who are worried about their income. And there are people who are worried about how they are going to pay for their products. And there you stand in the gap with your life preserver, and we're asking you to be bold with your life preserver. We're asking you to be bold with extending it to people. We're asking you with a heart of help and a spirit of trust and support to help people, because there's a lot of worried people right now. And at the intersection of all these concerns is you. Is you and your heart, is you and your mission, is you and all your experience, is you with everything that you already know. And you know more than you think you do. Everybody right now who's worried about health is looking for someone like you. Everybody who is worried about their income right now is looking for someone like you. And everyone who is wondering, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to keep my family on these products, or I don't even know how I can add to these products. All of these people are right now looking for you. And there you stand in the gap between their worry and what we do, right? Between worry and hope, there you are. And you have to ask yourself, what am I going to do about it? And I just simply want to take you through a series of things that we have put together to help guide you through this process, in addition to all the meaty goodness that you're going to get about 3-day challenges. So we feel like there are 3 daily conversations that you should be having, and you can pick one or you can pick them all, but make sure you're having these conversations. The first conversation is just a conversation that works for anyone you know. It's just simply a checking in call and asking people, how are you? And how can I help you? I want you to think about that. I want you to think about how if everyone who you did business with called you and asked you how you were doing and how they could help and support you at this time, not trying to sell you anything, just checking in and supporting you, how would that feel? Because it's not about selling stuff, y'all. It's about connecting and helping and listening. So if you do nothing, have 10 of these conversations a day. I'm just calling to check in with you. You know what, Anita? I just wanted to call and check in with you. I wanted to see how you are, and I wanted to see how I could help. Hey, Barb, it's Genevieve calling. You know, yes, you know me from Plexus. Remember we met at that card game 6 months ago? Yeah, we're both friends of Sally's. Hey, listen, I'm just checking in with all the people I know. And I just wanted to check in with you and see how you are, how your family is doing, and if there's anything I can do to help or support you right now. Could you do that 10 times a day? Would that feel good 10 times a day? So you could do that, right? How many of you could do that? Type in the chat area. How many of you could teach your teams to do that? What if we had a big, huge wave of Plexus ambassadors just checking in with everyone in their back office? Then there's this conversation, your non-Plexus friends. I'm just checking in, and I'm just wondering, right? Is your family impacted financially right now? I'm just checking in with all my friends. And you listen. You just listen. And you then say, my heart is just breaking for all those folks right now who are not only worried about their health, but are worried about their finances. And you know what, Kathleen? I know you've never shown any interest in learning about my work from home opportunity or what it is that I do. But right now, I feel a need to reach out to all of my friends, all of my customers, and all the people I know who have families who might right now need to know how to create an income. And so I'm just putting it out there because I want people to not only be able to afford their products, but I also want people to know that I'm open to teaching them what I know about creating an income from home. Just let people know. I know we've never talked about this, or I know you've never showed any interest in this, but I gotta believe that if I tell enough people, I will reach somebody that wants to know how to create an income from home, and I'm open to teaching people that. Does that make sense? And then for all of your previous and non-ordering ambassadors, just check in with them as well and say, I know a while back you were using our products, and with all that's going on, I just wondered, are you at a place where you're thinking about coming back in? Are you at a place where you're thinking about how you could create some income so that you could afford the products? Are you, tell me what's going on with you. How can I support you? So it's daily reaching out to people. And this is not one of those things that you do from Facebook and you hope that everybody hears you. These are those individual conversations, y'all. These are those conversations that create trust. These are those conversations where you get to hear people's voices and they get to hear your voice of hope. You are a voice of hope. So I encourage you to get on that as soon as possible. Next slide. I also want you to know that I'm going to have to get up and plug in my computer. I want you to also know that we are offering wellness webinars every single day at 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock on the Facebook Ambassador community page, on the Facebook page, so that you have something to send people to, so that we can interrupt all of the noise of worry, all of the noise of hype, right? So if you could start calling people and just as you're checking in with them, you could say, listen, I don't know if this is a fit for you or not, but every single day at 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock, our company is offering wellness webinars. We have scientists that work for us, and we are leveraging their knowledge so that we can help empower people so that they have a sense of what they can do at a time like this. Absolutely. Can I send you a JPEG? Can I just text you over an invitation and then tell them how to get on? If you are going to be doing the calls from your page, then let them know. I'm going to do a watch party from my page. You can just go right to my page. Let me know and I'll tag you. I'll make sure you find where it is. But this is personal work that happens through personal conversations. And then, of course, we have some new tools that you need to know about. And one is the new ambassador. Oh, wait, I forgot about this. Yes, this is really important. If you're not paying attention, pay attention now for sure. Ryan Anderson and myself are going to be live tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific time in the Plexus Ambassador Facebook community group. We have some important updates, and you will want to be on live tomorrow. Believe you me, mark your calendars. So we have some really great information for you. We are going to just continue to put some fuel on the fire here, the fire of help. And we want to ensure that everybody is on this live tomorrow at 12 p.m. Okay? All right. We also want to ensure that you know that there is a new ambassador page for the first time ever in your resource library. This is something we want you to check out because I'm telling you, I know you all. I know all you need is a little direction. All you need is a little inspiration, which you're going to get plenty of in a minute. And I believe 100% that now is the time for Plexus. Now is your time where we are going to band together and we are going to be reaching a lot of new people. And it was important to us that they have a place to go. So go and check out the new ambassador page. This will fully onboard your new people of their first 3 days in Plexus, with more to come. But we want to ensure that everyone that we bring in sticks. And that's our job. That's your job. That's our job. That's your leader's job. When we link arms together and we use our tools, we can magnify our efforts. Does that make sense? I'm asking you all to join us in the things that the company has planned. Let's link arms together. Let's show the world. When we do a webinar, thousands of people show up. When you choose to show up, or when you choose not to show up, you are strengthening or weakening our message. I'm going to put it out there, y'all. Our staff is dedicated to providing content, but we need your help getting that content out there. If you missed the 4 o'clock webinar, you missed one of the very best testimonials I have heard in a very long time. So I want to invite you all to understand where we are going, where we are heading, and our commitment to being a beacon of hope at a time like this. So that brings us to our topic of the day. And I wanted to tee this conversation up because I felt like if you all didn't feel like now your role was super important, you might miss the messages at hand here about our 3-day challenges. So I hope that the information I provided helps to provide some perspective to you, really helps you to understand the importance of where we're going and the work ahead right now. And it ties into our 3-day challenge, okay? So this training, yeah, on Mondays for the next couple of weeks will be at 4:30 because we don't want to conflict with the wellness webinars, which are at 4 p.m. Yes. All right. So, you know, we've rolled out these 3-day challenges, these 3-day beauty experiences, and we 100%, like this is the hour of truth at all, y'all. We know some of you are still watching and waiting to see what are the results of this. What I want you to know is the results for the people who are using it the way it has been prescribed are fabulous, And we invited both Emily Roberts and Jennifer Leaf on because statistically, they are crushing it. And I don't just mean like, oh, they called us and said, this is fun and we love doing it. Oh, we looked it up. There's duplication going on. There are people in their teams that are actually having success with this. And we wanted to ensure that you understood exactly what they're doing because they can't train everybody individually and they're getting asked by a lot of people. So we wanted to put something together for all of you. The first thing though is I want you to understand the power of the 3-day challenge. It is about duplication. It provides touch points around a sample of products. It provides social proof, which you desperately need if you want to be good at this. And it demonstrates the simplicity of how this business works to your prospects. And more importantly, it is a low barrier of entry. So we are eliminating barriers of entry for people saying yes to Plexus. And we know for a fact that $20 is a great place for people to land, not only to purchase, but to also recommend to their friends. So without further ado, I want to welcome to the call Emily Roberts and Jennifer Lee. And I want to start off our call, ladies, by having you all just, let's be casual, let's be open, tell these ladies what they need to know about 3-day challenges from your perspective.
All right. Jen, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
First goes last. Last goes first. Go, Emily.
Okay, so if you don't know who I am, my name's Emily Roberts, and I like to keep it real. I am from Texas, and if you know anything about me, there's nothing I don't hide. And that includes how I felt about these 3-day challenge boxes when they were first launched. Didn't really care for them. I did not promote them to my team. And I felt a sense of overwhelm because there were so many great things rolling out that I didn't know where to look. I didn't know where to send my team. And I feel like that resonates with many people on top of this weird, crazy season that we're in and kind of being locked in our homes. So this is what I decided to do. I ordered the business builder pack. It comes with 5 boxes. This happens to be a Joanne one, but it was 5 of the Renew You boxes. And I decided to see what was inside. I didn't know what was inside. I didn't really do my research. And I went live on my team page and I said, hey guys, I'm unboxing these 3-day challenges. Other diamonds are doing it. I'm just going to let you know I'm not excited about this, but we're going to get excited. And it's the most genuine, authentic Facebook Live I think I've ever done for my team. From feelings of pure excitement to being silly about what was inside, and even tears because the whole entire box and packaging is covered in affirmations. And that's something that all of us need right now. They are beautiful inside and out. And I feel like it's a win-win-win. Okay, so it's a win for corporate, it's a win for us, and it's a win for the customer. And that's what I explained to my team. We unboxed it together, and that day we created a countdown and started recognizing each other every single time we sold a box. We did that all the way through December, and that made for a really busy but also productive December. And we kicked off our first 3-day challenge ever in January. And I'm gonna like humble brag, all right? Jennifer beats me on this, but for me, I'm really excited. In one evening, I sold 14 boxes. These 3-day boxes. Not the business builder pack. Like I already sold those to people at my gym and in my town. But straight from my website, 14 boxes. And I was just blown away because like Deb said, $20 is not a scary buy-in. So that's kind of where I've been the last couple of months. Of course, I'll touch on it a little bit more, but I want you to hear Jen's perspective of this too.
So I know that there's skepticism about the 3-day challenge box, and I think it comes from why spend the time asking someone to do a challenge box when we could spend the time asking them to buy a welcome pack. And I think that what we need to wrap our minds around is this. If you've been with Texas for a while, maybe you're a gold ambassador, maybe you're a jewel. It is not as hard for someone that's been doing this for a while to talk to someone about a welcome pack. But I want you to picture a brand new person. Can you picture how much easier it is for them to ask a friend or a family member to do a 3-day challenge for $19.95? How much easier is that for them? So I actually signed up a girl last month, and she had done a challenge pack. She upgraded to ambassador, and she messages me and says, hey, I sold one of those beauty boxes and one of those weight loss boxes. Where do I put them? And I'm thinking to myself, I didn't tell you to do that. And a light bulb went off because what I realized is it is a flawless, simple system of duplication. And is that true? Is my team really duplicating that? And if you go and you pull the numbers and you see that layer and layer and level and level and level down, people are doing the same thing. Selling a challenge pack, creating a space for a great experience, which we're going to talk to you about, getting that person to upgrade to ambassador, and then sending them out to do the exact same thing. So I would encourage you guys to really believe that these can have power. And I think anything that you choose to do, you have to choose to do it for 90 days. You have to do it and have to see what the results are. Some people in the chat at the beginning said, I feel bad about inviting people to a beauty challenge when all this is going on. And look, I get it, but it is all in your verbiage. Can you picture saying something like this? You know, we're all home, and I know I want to get my mind off of these things. Would you want to do a beauty challenge with me for 3 days just to get our minds off the craziness? It is such an easy ask, right? But people aren't going to feel overwhelmed by the cost, and you're really just inviting them to do something with you. So I think these 3-day challenge boxes are the answer. I think that these are what we use for send, share, and invite. This gives us something to invite to. So I have a girl that actually, her earn silver stars. You're going to hear from her tonight. And she really credits a lot of her success to these 3-day challenge packs. I'm so excited for you to hear from her. Is Desi on?
She is. I think we just have to get her to turn her camera on.
We want to see you. You're famous. Silver
There she
star.
is.
Well, as she's waiting to get on, I wrote one more thing down, Genevieve. Christy put in the chat, hey Desi, that she had lost her job, and I just wanted to say I'm really sorry and dive into your Plexus business. Okay, Desi, take it away.
Okay. So I just want to encourage everybody, definitely those 3-day challenge boxes are invaluable tools for your business. So I was looking back a little bit, and they were launched in November. Is that right, guys? Beginning of November, they were launched. So I was much different than Emily. I actually hit the gate running with these. I was like, oh my gosh, these are amazing. It's only $20. What a great way to introduce people to Plexus, and it gives them just a little bit, enough to get hooked and want more. So November, I started selling them like crazy, and I put them in groups with people in my team and made sure to follow up on them every single day. You know, okay, you guys, you just hit the end of day 1. How did you like your lean? How did you like the slim? What did you mix your lean with? And making conversation with them, and just, you know, the follow-up. So just, I guess a humble brag or maybe some inspiration for you guys. Like I said, I started selling them in November when they came out. In December, I hit super silver. In February, I hit gold and earned silver star. And all of that was just utilizing and selling these 3-day challenge boxes. So every single person who's ever bought one from me has signed on my team as an ambassador, which has been incredible.
Is it
I'm not
okay?
sure if my screen.
I had to jump back in here. I had to jump
Sorry.
back in here. Desi, I know people want to know, what did you say to get people to buy them? Because you're brand new. So no offense, Emily or Jennifer, but we know that they, like, you know, we would expect them to have something good to say. You obviously have something good to say too. So what was it that you said to people?
Really, I did an unboxing. I do a lot in my Facebook and Instagram stories, and I did an unboxing. I went through all the products in there, and then I just put it on my Facebook feed and just asked people, like, hey, who's interested? It's 3 days. It's only $20, and you get a $20 coupon with it, so it's basically free, no brainer. And people just wanted to join.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. Sorry, I had to jump in there, ladies.
Literally, I'm just so excited because when you see the results of something that you think could be the answer, I'm looking at her going, I don't know if you know this, but I think Betsy's been using the product for 3 years. Is that right? Oh,
Yeah, almost 3 years.
Okay. 3 years, loving her Plexus. Why didn't she work the business? Why? It wasn't the right time. She wasn't ready. But look what was the opening for her. What opened the door? Do you feel like those challenge packs set people up for success? They already knew what the Plexus culture was, Desi. What do you feel like your best takeaway?
I absolutely think that those are, like one of you mentioned before, it's just such a gateway for people, and it's not $99. Sometimes people see $99 to join and they get scared. And I think just that $28 buy-in, and like I said, it's just a little bit, it's just enough to get them to like, oh, I kind of do like this pink drink. Yeah, I guess I am committed to try it for 60 days or 90 days or longer. And so then you ask them, okay, well, how about a wholesale account? Or would you like to make this a business, sharing these $20 boxes with your friends? One of my girls who went silver, she just signed up in December as a challenge box person. And then she went on to go silver the next month and signed on 5 people herself using the challenge boxes and the support in our group, in our team.
Okay, first I want to scream, like literally go through the screen, grab you and squeeze you and like hug you, kiss you. social quarantining way. But let me ask you a question. Would this have worked if they had just gotten the box and weren't put into a group? Do you think the group provided value?
Absolutely, 100%. So when you put somebody into the group, you're checking every single post, you're tagging them in there to make sure that they've seen the post. And like I said, and then even after that, you're messaging them at the end of the day, asking, how did day one go? Did you have less cravings? Did you feel like you had a little more energy? How did that lean hold up compared to the Carnation instant breakfast that you usually do that's full of sugar and things like that? And I mean, the products are amazing and people realize it.
And you're amazing, and I can't wait for you to go to Scottsdale and enjoy that Silver Stars trip.
Yes.
If that's not social proof enough for all of you, her experience can be your experience. You just have to create the system. And so that's what Emily and I are passionate about, is giving you a simple system that would work for a brand new person all the way up to a diamond ambassador. So we have some pretty incredible things planned for you in April, but I'm gonna let Emily go ahead and talk about her experience with seeing people have success with the boxes.
All right, so I'm no Desi, but I developed 4 silvers, you guys. Just from these boxes. 2 of them have been on my team for quite some time, and 2 of them are brand spanking new, and they were excited, and they knew that I worked really hard, and this was a simple system, as Finn just said, that got them into action. There is a quote by Benjamin Franklin, and it says, never confuse motion with action, because motion is just movement, and action creates productivity. That's what these groups are doing. That's what these boxes are creating. So I invited to our call a senior gold ambassador on my team. Like many of you, you've been between super silver, gold, senior gold for a while. This too will work for you, not just newbies. If you're waiting and wanting something new and fresh to get people into action, especially with that poinsettia promo we have going on, where all welcome packs are points. This is a great way to help you move towards your next rank advancement. So I invited to the call my senior gold ambassador, Jessica Ruckel. She's actually my level 4, but we work together hand in hand. She's often my co-host in these groups because they blow up and they're full of action and engagement and excitement. That this is a team effort. This is something that you guys should be doing together as teams. It's so much fun. I love that Desi mentioned her Instagram and Facebook stories. That's where I go to, especially for those late night outs right now. All of us are homeschool moms, right? And we're staying up until 11 p.m. just to get a break. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's a great time to get on your Facebook stories, take some fun pictures with your boxes, and let people know, hey, I do left. Who wants them? And send them your link. Get them excited too. But I'm going to turn it over to Jessica, and she's going to share what she's been doing to turn these boxes into points in new ambassador moments.
Hi, thank you. So along with Emily, I kind of jumped on when she jumped on, following the leader, right? And in turn, my team jumped on. I just had my newest level 5 ever because of these challenge boxes. It's literally the easiest form of duplication, and I've been here almost 4 years. As soon as we hopped on as a team and that energy started flowing and the group atmosphere was just excitement and really focusing on affirmations and making people feel good. It's kind of like easy. And for me, I'm really trying to focus on developing silvers and showing them these boxes and how easy it is to follow up with each day. And then, that buy-in cost of being only $20, it just makes it super simple. And I feel like people are finding it easier to go silver. And that's really where I'm trying to focus on, is getting those people that the financial gain they're looking for, that income coming in, and then also getting their products paid for. I think that's huge. So I'm using these to get people silver. And then in turn, when they're getting success with the products and getting silver, that's helping me with my rank up. And I really try to not focus on my rank ups. we can get in that kind of like, we're always focused on ourselves. We have to focus on the people below us. And when I focus on getting other people silver, that's going to take me up to Ruby. And I find with these boxes, it just makes it that much more simple. I love, like you said, Desi, the following up at nighttime is like so important. Asking how they made their shake, giving them suggestions like maybe almond milk instead of coconut milk or hemp milk. There's so many different varieties of different ways you can mix them. Checking how that Metaburn felt, if it was too much or if they needed more. It's just making that connection every single day. So I'm super thankful for Plexus making these boxes. It's making it easier on me, but also getting it into the hands of others for really cheap cost. So thank you guys.
Thank you so much for sharing. I love that you brought up that you're using it to develop silver. So not only is it helping Rocket launch new ambassadors, but for those of us that have been here for a while that are going for that rank up or to maintain their rank, you're also using this as a leadership tool to develop silvers, to show them a simple system. So I feel like that's sometimes something we take for granted. Corporate wants us to win, you guys, and we have this really cool, really beautiful box on our hand that we can get out to people. And somebody asked in the question thing, is it better to buy the business builder pack or to have them go to your link? Well, considering we're not allowed to be within 10 feet of one another right now, I think your personal link would be best. And as Jennifer mentioned, there's some really cool things in store for April. We will help you decide and make those decisions. But for now, I think sending people to your website, one, I feel like it's kind of like a trickster thing. Like they go to your website to get the 3-day box and they're like, hey, all right, so I did the math, and I think I might just enroll anyways. And it's a great conversation starter. It may not always work out that way for you, but I know that you've heard from 4 different personalities, 4 different years of business, whether we're brand spanking new, we've been here for a while, and I think we've given you a lot to chew on. But I have one more quote for you, and I just had to because it uses the word antidote in it, and Corona's got me feeling all the medical type of ways, I guess. I don't know. But it says, action is the antidote for despair. If you are feeling like your business is in despair, if you feel like you have business overwhelm, just do something. Let your box be that something. It's simple, it's affordable, and it gets people excited because they get 4 freaking products. It's amazing. So I want you to think about that. Action is the antidote for despair.
And with that in mind, I do really want each of you, I'm going to go down the line here. I'm going to ask you each to tell me what you would say to get people to purchase, because that's the number one thing people are asking, is what are you saying? So I love that we have 4 unique personalities. We've got 4 unique levels in our business. So I wonder, Jessica, can we start with you? What would you say to get someone to try a 3-day challenge or a 3-day beauty experience?
So definitely be authentic to you. I am super dramatic and over the top. So when I reach out to people, I am like, OMG, exclamation point, emoji central over here. Like, we just dropped the biggest thing in the world and you need to know about it. I'm not even joking. Super over the top with my posts, with my messages. I like to send voice recordings so they can hear how pumped I am. And if you're not, fake that pump, okay? Like, make it exciting. And once you figure out that person, and you know the way that they talk to you, you can get them in with being authentic and being excited. They'll see it and they'll trust that you're being true to them and have the good stuff.
All right, thank you. Desi, what are you saying?
So I'm not so over the top and dramatic like Jessica, but that's okay because it takes all kinds of kinds.
Yes, it does.
But I just am, I don't know. I guess my excitement shows through and I just say, hey, you guys, we have this 3-day challenge box and what a great way to try multiple products from Plexus. A lot of my favorites that I use in my own daily routine. If you're interested, let me know. And yeah, that's how I get a response. And I do use the group. And I know people are asking, we do a group for the beauty box and a separate group for the 3-day challenge the regular 3-day challenge box. And I just ask, hey, do you want to join this fun group? You try the products for 3 days and you get lots of information about your health and wellness and things like that. And it's amazing how many people that just don't feel good and want to feel better. And if you put it out there that you have something that can help them, then they're going to want to reach out to you.
Fabulous. Thank you, Desi. Emily, you're next. What do you say?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so I'm using this as a follow-up tool. I've been doing this for about 6 years now. So I'm on Facebook. I sent out this message. Hey, I know we've chatted about Texas before, and I wanted to let you know you have a really neat opportunity to try our top 4 products for under $20. I know timing wasn't quite right before, but I thought this was a really great way to try them for cheap. Also get $20 coupon for later. So when you get this, send me a thumbs up. That's what you always do.
I love all these. You guys are going to get the recording, so you're going to get to play, pause, write these things down. I love it. Jennifer.
Okay, so I'm always going to add humor. I feel like it connects me to people. But one of the biggest areas that I had success was going back to people that had said yes to me before, have become inactive, they haven't used Plexus 3 or 4 years. That's a really easy way to start a conversation. Hey, been a long time, and we have some really great new products. Plus, you can hang out with me. If you want to do a 3-day challenge, it's $19.95. Then they say, well, yeah, I think I would. And usually they'll want to know a little bit more, what for products, all those things. I'll answer those questions. And then I say, just drop your address. And they drop their address.
Are we still, or can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Oh, you can hear me.
I think it's just the recording. I think they, like, not everybody was cutting in and out for me. Like, Emily and Jennifer were cutting out really bad for me, but the other 2 girls were not. So I think maybe it was their internet connection. I think even if we listened to the recording ourselves, it would be that way.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was gonna say, just making sure. Yeah, I'm gonna turn it back on for a second before I go away from this screen and just see if you guys can hear it.
I ship it to them because I can stock their tracking. And then I message and go, okay, it's on its way. PayPal me $20 right now. And then they're like, oh, yes, I will PayPal you 20.
Okay. Can you hear it?
All right. So only other conversation I want to have is for those of you that were listening to the first part of this call and you're like, well, I want to show people how they can make money with this. And so even though I'm not out there doing the do like these ladies are, I think, right, one of the conversations that works all the time is just, so Jennifer and I were having a conversation and Jennifer's like, yeah, I think I do want to learn how to do this. I would say, great. Do you have $20? Because for $20, you'll get to try our best products for 3 days. And I will literally show you how this works. Like, I can show you inside of 3 or 4 days how this works, right? Are you guys picking up what they're laying down? Like, I want you to see, like, this is so self-contained. And sometimes I feel like it's so simple, people miss it. Jen, did you want to say something?
You read me so well. We know each other. So I can't help but mention this. I started, Suzanne sent me Slim and BioCleanse in a white envelope through the mail. She lives in Arkansas, I live in Tennessee. So when I started sharing Plexus, what did I do? Started putting Slim and BioCleanse. I don't know why there's no bio, but there wasn't. And we put it in white envelopes and I mailed it to people because I did what I saw someone do. The best said, she saw Emily bought into the 3-day challenges, so she got bought in, and then her team got bought in, and that is magic sauce right there. If you're not feeling the 3-day challenges, please don't be surprised if your team isn't. Don't say, well, my team doesn't really like them. Do you like them? Because if you like them, I can almost guarantee you your team is going to like them. And when duplication happens, you are actually experiencing the residual income that for years and years and years I have said what a great thing it is. Never until now are worried that you're not making commission on these, you're not thinking into the future. You're not thinking 10 steps ahead.
Preach.
I just gave myself chill bumps. You think 10 steps ahead, that you are creating a system. There are so many questions you guys had that we are going to answer. Wait till the next slide, because then you're going to be like, April's going to be amazing. But I want you to be thinking into the future, think 10 steps ahead, endorse it, and your team will endorse it too.
Yes, all the things. And I feel like what happens is people miss that this is a tool that leads to the income. This is a tool that leads to the income. So the problem I think that a lot of people are having is that this does not, it's such a small step for people that you will have more people doing this and leading to welcome packs. It is a tool. I want you to think of each of these boxes as a little employee who's in somebody's house doing all of the sharing and talking for you. We keep getting this question. I want to make sure everybody is super clear. You can drop ship these to people. Then you will have tracking on it. You can send them a link to purchase them, right? But listen to these women. Most of them are saying they're drop shipping them and having people Venmo them back, right? But if that isn't an option for you, then 100% send them a link. All right. I'm just breaking it down because you guys are like, good stuff. And I'm like, I hope everybody's catching all this. So go. I'm done. Go.
Okay, I wanted to share one more thing since we're talking about money. Just because of the points promo going on and convention contests going on, you're duplicating silvers, you're getting convention contest credits. What do you do? But you want money? When you add a new level 1 ambassador, you're getting those business builder bonuses. And I've had 14 people order. Out of all of them, I think 12 enrolled as ambassadors and 2 were customers. My husband's a senior Ruby ambassador working towards Emerald, so I helped him out a little bit. He got 6 and I had 6, but 6 new level 1s in 1 month is pretty big these days. You know what I'm saying? And then those new customers helped my PD, which helped my convention contest. So I'm not complaining, but I want you to do the math. So if you're a math person, if you have 6 new level 1 ambassadors at $25 a piece for your bonus, okay? That's that aspect alone. I'm not talking pay points yet. But pay point wise, that's 5 points a piece. That's 30 points. So hello, thank you, rank up, yeah? Or maintaining rank, whatever you built. But say the pay point's $3. What did I say the number was? 30 times 3. Gosh, you guys, I'm not a homeschooling parent. That's $90. Okay, that's $90 cash, not including the $25 per level 1 ambassador. And I just want you to crunch those numbers with me. These boxes will help you get 6 new level 1s. Set goals for yourself. If you haven't written down a goal yet this month, I want to sell 6 beauty boxes. Well, I'm going to sell this. And the reason why I started this off was the team does what the leader does. Recognize people for it. If they're selling 1 box, shout them out. That's what the vouch for us. Our team page was so full of shout outs. The corporate people that were in our team page trying to learn about my 3-day box crap, they were like, we can't find your content. All your people getting recognized for selling boxes. I'm like, okay, I'll tag you. That's how excited my team was. And for the team members of mine that are watching that were participating, that's what you missed out on, homies. So let's start talking more about these boxes and start getting into action because like I mentioned, it's a win-win-win. They're saving money, you're making money, and corporate's really excited that their boxes are in houses, right? Little tiny Lexus elves up in everybody's business.
With that, I feel like we maybe should go to the next slide. Tell them how we're going to help them out, ladies.
All right. This is the coolest thing ever. I'm really pumped to do this, especially with Emily. She's hilarious, and she just has given me a different perspective on things. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to spend 3 Ambassador Community page, April 15th to April 17th. We're going to spend 3 days basically giving you challenges and income producing activities and instructions for running your very own challenge. So Emily will help you with this. The first day, we're going to be doing preparation, getting you ready, getting you posting, getting you promoting these. We're going to show you how to post, how to ask, how to drop ship. We're going to answer every single question that I see happening in the chat. Everything. Should I have a page here? Should it be in the event? Should we do book at once? All the things. And I'm going to tell you, these events are so much fun. That's for your team to hop in. Ask them to come in and just encourage and comment. If you're brand new and you're like, I don't have a team, why would I? Find people in your organization, find a sideline, ask your sponsor, plug yourself into a place that you can do this with other people. So then the second day, what are we going to be doing, Emily? I don't want to talk all the time.
No, you're fine. We're going to teach you how to plan, promote, and prepare. Those are our 3 P's we wrote down. But then we're also going to help with showing you where to find testimonies and the people that are going to come in and share their stories in your event. Because that is what sells, right? Stories are what sells. You can share fun facts all day long and connect to success. But connecting with another person about a product or about their story and their backstory, that's the buy-in for people. And they're going to hear stories about the different products in each box, no matter what box you go with. I'm going to teach you how to ask your customers and potential questions like, okay, so these are the products that come in the box. Are you sensitive to caffeine? What are your goals? Like, what do you want out of this? We're going to set clear expectations with people. Like, you're not going to get the box and look like Jillian Michaels on day 4. That's not how this works. We're going to teach you a fun way to show people the science, but the stories too. And then the 27th, 28th, and 29th is our follow-up for you guys. It's a little extra accountability because this is when you're going to host your event. And what we're going to do is come in and love on you, but we're also going to give you a to-do list. Think of it as like a little checklist for those of you that kind of freak out when it's like your wedding day and you're like, oh, what am I supposed to do? Oh, I show up. Great. That's all you're going to do. You're going to give you a little checklist to show up, post this, smile. You got it, Rockstar. That's what we're here for because we're going to give you all the tips and tools. And you might get so excited you think you're overwhelmed, but no, that's hope. That's hope right down in here, and you're going to get this moment on people in a good way. It's going to be so awesome.
It is. So just to recap for everybody, we have Hype Week. That is us giving you the tools, all of the instructions, every question answered. We are going to teach you how to have conversations, how to close. Simple, 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 simple. Even if you're brand new, all the way up to the Diamond Ambassador, we are taking over the Plexus Ambassador community page each day, giving you instructions, telling you, okay, today's the day you're going to create the page. Here's how you do it. Pick a name, work together with people. We're going to do every bit, and then we're going to challenge you. Please have your own 3-day challenges, April 27th to 29th. Each day we will come back on that Plexus Ambassador community page and say, did you do this? Did you do that? What are you seeing? Do you need support? We are going to be there to support you through this because we know when you go live or when you're running something, it can be scary. But scary is good. Scary means growth, and scary means a future for you as a CEO of your own business with Plexus Worldwide. So I hope you guys are so excited. April 30th, also teach you how to convert all of those 3-day challengers into happy, healthy Plexus ambassadors. So are we doing this? We need like some amazing thing in the chat. Like, yeah, woo, something like that. Okay, she's super excited. Right, Genevieve? Are you proud of us? Did we do what we were supposed to do?
I am so proud, so jealous, like straight up. This is going to be so much fun. The number one question that we're seeing is like, what do we do until then? And my answer is do not wait. Like these ladies, by the way, are running challenges like every week. Isn't that true, ladies?
We do them every single week. There's nothing better than a team member saying, hey, I've got someone who wants to do a challenge. When's the next one? And you're like, a month from now? No. Every Monday through Wednesday. Every Monday through Wednesday. Just like clockwork. And when you create a system, there is fruit to be had. So we do it on separate pages: beauty, weight loss, I call it
is actually already available to you. All the links, all the posts, all those things are all available to you. Do not wait. In addition, plan on, because you've got to have some learning prior, y'all. Like learning takes place by doing. Just make sure that you also have one set up. Can I tell you, tomorrow, 12 o'clock, on the Ambassador community page, you are going to want to be an activity from the rest of this month to next. Like it's all about the life preservers, y'all. So what else do they need to know, ladies? Anything else? Questions, comments, concerns, snide remarks? Anybody?
What's the new thing at noon tomorrow? Rhyme with.
That it is one. I can tell you what it is. You ready? It's about.
That already
Oh my
happened.
God, I love you, like in every possible way.
Oh wait, did you get that? Did you get that? I think our computer went out a little bit.
It's a new product for rage.
All right, everyone. So I can listen. I'm just going to defend your privacy, ladies. Don't text these women. Don't, like barrage them with, can you help me? This is what this is about, is helping you here. You will have their undivided attention. And when they say taking over, I want you to know we are not posting anything else on the Ambassador community those days. That has never happened before here at Plexus. So that's how dedicated we are. And honestly, ladies, do you think it matters which box they do, which challenge they the advice is the same for both, isn't it?
Yeah, think of your audience. Think about what people are posting about. What do you see on a regular basis? Are you more on Instagram? That's where the beauty and wellness stuff is really at, as opposed to your Facebook friends. This is what you usually see on a day-to-day basis, maybe even at the gym. So weight management, renew you style products, maybe better for your Facebook audience, or take your Joy on Beauty boxes Instagram. But honestly, the systems that we're giving you are for both. It's up to you to decide which one you want to talk more about, educate people on. It's a value for value exchange. So whatever you are posting about, that's all they're going to know about, because people don't know what they don't know, right? So if you're talking about gut glam and glow ups and showing off your beautiful skin because you're at home and not doing anything else but using your Joy consistently, then yeah, they're going to want that. But if you're doing all these at home workouts and challenges, I saw you getting them 10 for 10, 10 I'm not tagging next, 10 push-ups in 10 seconds. If you're into the fitness stuff, talk about MetaBurn, talk about lean and active for recovery, but you don't have to be an expert. Everything's in the box, literally. And the mom on my team said this: the parent takes the product and the stuff out of the box, and you hand the box empty to your child, and it's a free toy. So again, it's a win-win-win-win because the kid gets a free toy out of it. All the things.
And I would encourage you guys now more than ever. All of our products will do a multitude of different things. So we're adding an immunity perspective into the weight loss challenge, because we know that our products are really great at taking care of the body in general. And so if you add that layer in now, I know that you're going to be drawing more people in. I would encourage you to look into that and offer that to everyone.
Yeah.
Like, who doesn't want to increase their immunity?
We talked, even when we rolled out the 3-day challenge box, y'all, we talked about it being an overall health opportunity for people, because all of those products support your overall health, right? And sense of well-being. Those are words right now that people are looking for. Overall sense of well-being. So, anywho, Desi and Jessica, get used to seeing your faces on videos, women, because I can tell we are going to be hearing more from both of you. Emily and Jennifer, we are not worthy. Thank you so much. I don't know, can you see my roots? I don't know what's happening when I do that. Thank you so much for being on this call and for helping so many women. You guys, now is our moment. Let's buck up, Buttercup. Let's get it together. Let's link arms. Let's show people how simple it is to be a part of Plexus. You're going to love this. I love you all, ladies. Thank you so much. Jennifer and Emily, can you show them some love, please, in the chat? And Desi and Jessica, and fill out that little survey so we know how you feel about the calls.
Okay, gang. So thoughts? How you feel about the concept as a whole? Are you feeling better? I did have some ideas while they were talking. Some, in fact, I'm going to challenge you guys. Anybody who wants a challenge, I'm going to challenge that tomorrow that you pour your pink drink or your active or whatever in a pretty glass jar or a pretty glass. Take a picture of it. Use something to type. You can even use Facebook Edit. Like you can take a, I think you should be able to do this. I haven't done this in a long time, but take a photo. If you don't have editing software or editing app on your phone, and if you want to get one, I encourage you to use something like WordSwag or Canva. There are other ones too, but anyway, laying words on top of your drink and make it obvious that it's your drink, whatever you say, so that they don't think you're just putting a graphic out there. So it would say something like, a part of my immune regimen, right? Or keeping my immune system strong during this time, or something like that. That could be one great challenge. Let's write that down. Jetty, write that down. Write it down on your phone so you can send it to me. Immune system chat, or immune system post with a picture of your product, or a picture of you holding it, right? It depends on what level of quarantine you're in, right? If you want to put your picture on Facebook or not. I encourage you to, even if you look major quarantine, I would say if you want to, take a selfie and say, keeping my immune system strong, part of my immune system regimen. The other idea that I had would be taking an assortment of products that you use, and I'm just giving you ideas that I think would be really good to post right now, and they don't seem insensitive. Take products that you use, put them in a cute spot so that you can get a good picture, and add other things that you do to keep your immune system strong. It wouldn't have to be just Plexus products. I have a lot of things that I think are supremo that I use every single day, and or that my kids use every single day, that I think it would make a really good, and if you wanted to be super clever, you could either type it with the picture, or you could like layer onto the picture. You could be like, for my gut, for my immune system. Have little arrows pointing and say, this is for allergies, this is for this is for this, so that people know what they're looking at, right? You could type it in the commentary if you wanted to. Anyway, I'm hoping, that's just two ideas to kind of get your brain clicking, thinking. Throughout the day, I loved what Christia said, how she's like just letting people are on Facebook like crazy right now. Like I'm telling you right now, I'm getting barraged with messages, people commenting, people whatever, and it's way, way, way more than usual because people are at home and they're looking, they're just looking. And I would say right now would be a really, I don't want to call somebody dumb, but right now would be a dumb time to not be active on your Facebook, and in whatever way you can bring sunshine. Like, I don't know, I know some of you were on the live that my daughter and I did today. We went driving, and state of Oklahoma is not really, locked down yet. So we were able to get in our car, and we didn't get out anywhere. And you didn't want to see me. Trust when I say you didn't want to see me today. But I put my phone just aimed up and had her play her ukulele. That wasn't even my plan. I just told her, do you want to go for a ride? And I knew she was going to be like, yeah, like anything to get out of this house. I could have told her we were going to go like pull weeds somewhere. She'd have been all right. And as we were walking out the door, I'm like, grab your ukulele, because some of my very best feel goods are when she is playing an instrument, singing. In this house, it's like a soundtrack sometimes. Now probably a little more than normal because she's just, doing a lot of the crooning. Anyway, we get in there and she's in there playing different songs. I'm like, play me something. And she's playing and she's singing. And I was like, this would be so fun. Just, literally a bonding moment for the two of us. And a lighthearted thing that we did together. I was in one of my group chats. Someone said, I'm just now connecting these two things. I did that today without the intentions of what I'm about to say, but someone in one of my group chats said yesterday, I think, or early this morning, I can't remember. Basically, right now, especially, like certain celebrities are doing things like that. Like Garth and Trisha the other night went live and did kind of a concert, and it was unifying. You know what I mean? Like it was sweet and unifying. A lot of celebrities are acting super weird right now. And she was musing the fact that now would be a time that like some like middle of the road person could accidentally become famous. Like literally by doing unifying things. Okay, well, I'm not into fame. I've been on the border of that and realized I'm not cut out for that. Okay. But I'm not suggesting that you guys get famous. If one of you do, I'll high five you if that's what you're looking for. But I'm saying it'd be a great thing if you were doing something every day that people could tune into. It'd be your way to say hello to people. Especially, I'm going to tell you right now, not everybody around and not everybody on your friends list carries the same set of beliefs as you and the set of faith that you do. And so any way that you can lighten the mood and express the lack of fear that you have in this time without, I don't mean necessarily getting on and preaching. If that's your thing, I'm not really talking about that though. I'm just talking about interaction, engagement, entertainment, enlightenment, love. To me, this is a time when you could really shine. And I don't mean like movie star. You see what I'm saying? Like we could just be this little light of mine, And to me, a few years ago, I just surrendered like everything. I'm like, God, I surrender everything. I surrender my entire business to you. I surrender every person on my team to you. I surrender my marriage to you, Lord. I surrender my kids to you, God. I surrender everything. And I will tell you, interestingly, it hasn't been like what I think maybe we may think. I don't know. I didn't really think this at that time. I was enough into my faith that I didn't believe that, suddenly everything would be, glowing and bright. But it has been very interesting to watch me go baby steps in the beginning, take baby steps and go, ooh, that was scary. Whoa, shoo, oh my gosh, it's scary to just trust. And then you do it and you go, gosh, God completely took care of that. That was honestly, every time I ever do take a big, huge step, and sometimes you don't even know it's a step or a block or whatever that's still there. Sometimes you don't even realize that you're so relying on your talent, your humor, your education, your knowledge, all these things that we're taught are so important to us growing up. Like these are the ways that you survive. You survive by being clever and being smart and making good grades and being, successful. And when you say, okay, God, I'm not going to lean on any of that. I'm literally going to say, have your way, Lord, in everything. And it can be scary. I kind of think it's the purpose of it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mean that you should be scared, but I'm saying going through the levels of peeling off all of you that's still your like caterpillar going through where you're peeling away all those layers of falsehoods, of things that you believed. I'm going to be honest with you too. And I've shared this in the past, and I'll share it again, I'm sure. But for me, all of the answers, now I'm not being condescending, or I'm not sure patronizing. I'm not sure what this would be categorized as if you don't understand me, but all of the things that I'm not going to say you because I have no idea what you think, but all the things that I thought money was going to solve, the really big stuff, it didn't really solve that. Like right now, because of our income, we are in a very comfortable position. And so that, I mean, I'm hugely grateful for the whole journey, but a lot of the things that I thought I'm just going to love having money, and I won't have to shop at Ross anymore if I don't want to, and I could get a really fancy house, all that stuff. Well, I didn't realize that even the thought of it, like when we went looking at fancy houses, I practically break out in the hives walking in a fancy house. I'm like, this is like not appealing like I thought it was going to be. And it did not give me a sense of peace. It didn't give me comfort. Thank God. Like me, especially for me and my personality type, I'm not putting judgment out there on anybody who did grab that bull by the horns and go, I want a new house. I mean, that's great too. But for me, the way we're living our lives right now, I'm super glad that I'm not going, oh my gosh, and I also have a, $3,000 a month house payment or $4,000 a month house payment or whatever it might have been. I have no idea. When we were looking at houses, we could have easily afforded it if we wanted to. But the reason I'm even talking about this is I just feel like the surrender piece for a lot of people, and I'm not just talking about your Plexus business, I'm talking about every area of your life that you haven't said, I trust you with this, God. Surrender is a weird word. It can sound like waving a white flag and giving up, and that's not what I'm meaning by that. I don't even really like the word because of how people misinterpret what it means. So I'll say instead, have your way. God, like completely. If I am going to pray at the end of my Zoom calls every single week, and if that makes certain people even uncomfortable, and I know it, like I know that they're uncomfortable. They've told me it makes them uncomfortable, and I'm like, I do not have the joy whatsoever in making you uncomfortable. Truly, I promise. I do not intend to push anything on anyone. However, it's a promise I've made to myself and that I remain true to, that's what's important. And oh my gosh, right now I'm just going to say too, I've had more messages in the last week. People, it kind of undid all the that I have felt over people being turned off by or not knowing what to do with all the stuff at the end of these Zoom calls, that they're like, I don't know what to do with all that. Well, the truth really comes down to that right now, it's kind of like I've had so many people say, gosh, right now, if we didn't have each other and the community that we have and the culture that we have, things would feel so different right now, feel so much lonelier right now or whatever. And also I feel that it's so important that that we have, I love that. I can't remember, I never can quote it right, but the whole idea, the concept of faith being, putting your trust in the Lord, where fear is putting your trust in the enemy. Looking at it like that, you can never really turn back around when you realize that faith is a wobbly-legged giraffe in the beginning until it proves itself to you. Like it's a newborn giraffe until it's a grown-up giraffe. And that's just the way it looks. And so those first steps can be like, I don't know what to do with all this pent-up emotion of having like gone hands-free. Like I'm hands-free on this deal. You see what I'm saying? So, okay. Have your way, Lord. I'm going to pray. I need to learn the names of these additional whole tones that I have. Thank you. I do too. I love these. You'll never guess where I got them. China. I got them out of China. They look a lot like Pretendras. I think Pretender makes some of these. These are for the Pretendras. Thank you. Okay. Who would have known, it's been a while since I started doing Zoom calls. Who would have known that God would take technology, which could easily be on your list of no things, like technology being bad. Who would have ever dreamed that, like, God would be using a Zoom call for people to get delivered and healed? I know we've seen, like, I don't know why I had a disconnect between that's like televangelism was kind of like that, as if it was someone that was like moving in power and not just preaching. And I'm not saying there's one's a distinction over the other. I'm saying people actually getting healed watching something on television. I don't know why it felt so different coming to my computer, talking in front of people that I know, not strangers, or somewhat know. I feel like I know you guys, my Wednesday night, or my Tuesday night crew, I should say. But tonight I just want to say I'm thankful for all of you. I'm thankful for the connections that we've all made, and I'm just lifting that up as a praise, because it's all God's work. All results of God's work in my life and in your lives. God, I thank you for your heart. I see God often work in a way that I say in my mind, thank you for your heart for the underdog, even though, like, I don't like to think of any of us as underdogs, but I don't know quite the word. Kind of like we were saying earlier, right now, someone who might not even have aspirations of becoming famous might just suddenly be someone that people looked to for entertainment or inspiration, right? May that be true in all of our lives, even if it's an audience of 3, or even if it's an audience of 1. If we have an opportunity to be the light, God, I thank you that you've given us an opportunity to be the light. I want to see what Graciela said. Yes. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for your power. Thank you, God, for your healing. Thank you, God, that we don't have to be in agreement and fear when we get a scary report, that we can say, we trust you, we lean on you, we wait before we act. Interestingly enough, the group that's on here tonight, I'm scanning again. Yeah, y'all are some of the weirdest weirdos I know. That says a lot coming from me. Yeah, it's a compliment. God, I thank you for these men and women who are day after day, week after week, faithful lovers of your heart. God, may the journey that we walk out be like filled with your spirit. God, I just post up angels everywhere, all around where you live, all around your vehicles. And I just post up swirly beauty that surrounds you, all around you, like you're in a protective bubble. May you be divinely protected. Somebody told me probably one of the weirdest things I ever heard at the time. I was trying to tell someone who offered to help me with the fact that, and I think a lot of you are probably empaths too. So when you walk into a room, you feel the energy, or maybe you feel somebody, or you can tell if someone just had a fight in that room. Like, especially you walk in and you're like, whoa, something, woo, yuck. Well, Plexus conventions wore me out. Like, too much, hey, it's so nice to meet you, but the presence of the person was like screaming, I'm getting a divorce, help. And like, I didn't know what in the world. Like, I felt like I'm picking up on almost bipolar vibes. Like, a person says they're so excited about something, but then I don't feel that, And so a person in my life told me, they said, hey, what you should do is before you go out into a crowd, imagine yourself, and this is where the Glenda bubble came from, because it's hard for me to envision what she was telling me. She's like, one of those control top pantyhose eggs, the gold egg, and I'm like, yeah, kind of. I mean, like, I hadn't worn pantyhose in a minute, right? I hadn't bought any pantyhose and I can't remember, but I was like, yeah, I think I know what you mean. She goes, imagine yourself in one of those, and that, you fill it up with all the beauty before you, walk out into the hallway, and then don't let anything that's not yours penetrate that. And I remember being like, that's not going to work. Like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Of course, I'm being super polite. Oh, that's a wonderful idea. I'm just sure going to do that. Okay. Well, yes, I love your ideas. That's ridiculous, but I'm going to do it. Okay. Well, I can remember I got in a panic almost more than once. Jenny can testify to this. Anytime we would be in an event, especially something like a Super Saturday, believe it or not, convention is crowded, but Super Saturday, I would be the speaker. And so therefore it'd be like, everybody want to talk to me, right? And they all want to tell me a story, and I'm trying to comprehend what they're saying, remember their name, and also not have a stupid look on my face and all this stuff. And I'm picking up on their energy. And I would think before I go out, like panicking. And so one day, weirdly enough, I was desperate enough to try it, and everything was different that day. And that was my real first, I thought of this the other day, that was my first real attempt at something that was like imaginative. How could it possibly be real? Imaginative. How could it possibly be real? How could it possibly work? And now over time, I've just begun to adapt to really looking at the world like a little kid who has an imaginary friend that's not imaginary. Like childlike eyes and ears when somebody tries to tell me something. I will tell you right now, if you're not teachable, you might as well go ahead and like pack it in, because being teachable, and I'm not talking about for me to teach you, I'm talking about God sends people my way on the daily. I mean, it's like all the time, who has something to teach me, and they don't even know that that's what they're doing lots of times. Like, I don't think they have any idea they came to teach me something, but I'll pick up on one little thing or two little things or 10 little things, and I'll think, wow, I never looked at life like that. Like, I've never looked at that topic like that. But if you are very hardened in your ability to adapt to what God's trying to show you, maybe he's trying to show you something new. So right now, if there is such a thing as a spirit of brainwash, I think there's definitely brainwash. But if there is such a thing as a spirit of brainwash, God, right now, I don't want any connection to it on me or any of you. I say anything I ever say, go test it with Holy Spirit first, No spirit of brainwash. God, I do not want a spirit of deception. Like, I cast it out in Jesus' name. I repent for having ever been in agreement with it if I have been. All I want is truth. God, your divine truth in my life, in every area. I don't want to be lied to, even if a lie tastes like sugar. I don't want lies in any part of my life. I don't want to be walking down a road. I don't want to be walking down a road that's a pretty deception. I want to know truth. To me, I value that like so high. I don't want to be walking in a lie. I don't want to be lied to. I don't want to be lying. And I want to be completely lying to God right now. I just call on divine truth and alignment in my life. God, anything that's left of my soul, my soulishness, this part of me that's, your spirit is immediately, but the soulish part of us that just, it's got to catch up, right? It's like always, I have a saying in my hallway that says, life is just a chance to grow a soul. It's the reason I have that in my hallway is because a girl asked me, I didn't know what she was doing. She's like, what's your favorite saying? And she was making me a piece of art that I didn't know. And I was like, my favorite saying is life is just a chance to grow a soul. She made me this cute thing. So it hangs in my hallway. And, if there's part of the way I interact, if I'm defensive about things, God, that I could, you can choose. I have to make this decision on the regular, by the way. You can choose to turn the other cheek when somebody says something rude on your Facebook, or you can choose to say something like I said today. I didn't say it on my Facebook. I said it on family members. I said, she's not trying to dupe you. And in the words of Roy D. Mercer, just how big a boy are you? That was funny, right? I felt it in the moment. In fact, I'm not going to lie to you. I feel it now. Dude walk up on my porch. I'd be like sizing him up first and picking which of my boys need to take him on, because I know I wouldn't be taking anybody on. But I'm saying, we can put that down. I think the guy kind of got the gist that I was joking, but I was like, she's not trying. It's a friend of mine who's in medical field, and she was basically it's a family member asking, I'm in line to where I could order some of these test kits here in town. Are people interested in them? She didn't want to have a bunch of them in her closet if nobody wants them, right? And she gave what she knew about them. And he's like, you're deceiving people. It doesn't really do what you're saying. And all that. She's like, hold on a minute. Well, your post is deceptive. And I was like, I know her well. It's my family member. And I was like, calm down, dude. And yeah, don't make me whip you. Like, I wasn't gonna, like I said, I was
Don't make me come up out of here. That's what you want to do, is snap that finger and say, don't make me come up out of here.
I'm more likely to do it defending someone else.
Yes.
And myself. Like, lots of times I got some Moros that I love who follow me, who absolutely don't believe in God. Like, they will flat out tell you, they literally have it in their bio, who will attack me on Facebook posts about, you never know what. Never know when. It's like, you must be the lurkiest lurker. If you don't see any of my posts or comment or interact with me in any way, but I say one thing, I'm like, lurky lurkerston, back up. In fact, I had to tell someone on one of my posts the other day, they didn't ask you. It was somebody who'd asked me something in a post. And I'm like, they didn't ask you. And I'm like, also, who are you? Like, oh, I have one friend in common. The lurky lurkster. Like, I'm not friends with this person. The lurky lurkerston went and got backup from one of their friends. And they come over there and they're like, yeah. Okay. But this is also a really good time. And I have been doing this a lot to demonstrate resolve and not even saying anything. I do it all the time. People say stuff. As much as I love the truth, and I really want people to understand what is true. When I first got involved in Plexus, and I was like, gut health, you wouldn't believe it, but your gut is actually linked to immune system and your mental health. And people were like, that's dangerous to say. You could get sued for saying that. Same lurky, by the way. This is the same lurky lurkerston. Same dude. Okay. Well, he's like, he's an attorney, some sort of attorney. I don't know what kind of law he practices. But I'm just saying, the lurkiness, strong in those, right? And I just learned that sometimes you can just walk in truth and be resolved to let people, I don't let them make fun of my friends. That's the only thing. If people are commenting underneath me and I have somebody from high school to be trying to say something tacky, no. And I'll tell you right now too, did y'all see Madonna's video where she's like, something about this disease levels the playing field and it doesn't discriminate. That's what I would have to say, even though I wouldn't say it quite the weird way she said it. I'd have that to say to anybody right now. Like when Jan's saying that Becky said that she'd had a doctor make a snide comment. These days, and I do believe with all my heart that we are just a few steps away from. I'm just saying, imagine if somebody asked me to take some TKO orange, a broom and a mop, and maybe have a loaded gun in my back pocket and said, girl, we want you to clean out the FDA. I'd say, oh yeah, put me on that, right? Give it to me. Because the fact that we can't tell the truth about stuff, it's pretty disgusting. The fact that the system has been rigged against us. I'm not talking about Plexus people. I'm talking about people. The system's rigged to make you think that you only have one option if you go to the doctor, and it's only chemotherapy. That you only have one option if you go. You see what I'm saying? Like, God. I am not choosing to ask for the job of cleaning out the FDA, but God, may it be someone with my kind of passion, who is a lot more concise than I am, who has more of the personality of someone who can just get in there and get something done. When we have humanity, I'm just praying right now because literally the sake of humanity rides on some of these government agencies, the safety, our health, and God just reveal truth to anyone and everyone who's looking for truth. I can remember the first time somebody asked me, I'm going to get off of the soapbox maybe in a minute. I can remember the first time someone asked me if our products were FDA approved, and I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what that, look it up. I'm asking, nobody knows. Like, I don't even have anybody to ask. Call the company. One of the two people that worked there to answer the phone at the time answered it. I'm like, hey, Alex, do you use our products? Are they FDA approved? And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, okay. And so he goes and he asks, he comes back, he goes, no, turns out they're not. I was like, oh, shoot. Now I got to go back and tell them, I'm so sorry, we're not. And the girl was like, it wasn't one of those miracle situations where someone said, good deal. They were like, oh, okay, well, my husband's concerned the stuff that I ordered, my husband's concerned I shouldn't take it if it's not FDA approved. You know, we're not still in that place, by the way. That used to be a regular question I got, and I hardly ever get that question anymore. People's eyes are opening. People's eyes. No offense to Dr. Ozy, but today I saw him try to challenge the president. And I was like, dude, you're a celebrity. Like, I get it that Trump is not a doctor, and I'm not trying to say that he is, but I'm saying, how would we know for sure? And I'm like, I quit watching Dr. Oz a while back. Can't remember what the episode was, but I was like, this is a really weird way to put all that. And then after a while, I just detached myself from watching the show because I was like, yeah, I think he's bought and paid for, and it's not by the American people, so to speak, you know? Yeah, yes, definitely. And I just, it's okay, whatever, but I'm just not going to take advice from someone who, you know, and it wasn't fooling me today. And I will tell you that it probably wasn't fooling a lot of people today. It was subtleties. He didn't really like attack anybody or anything. It was just kind of like putting question marks in people's minds. Does this dude really know what he's talking about? If he sends people back to work. Anyway, Trump's answer to that, for anybody that wasn't really able to watch and you're curious about the unfold, he's like, to the point where he's basically saying that the cure can't be worse than the problem. And he's saying, so if the cure means lock everyone in their house for 2 months and hope that this thing that's way less significantly damaging to people's health, or way less than the flu, I'm just going to put it like there. I can't remember exactly how he worded it, but saying, you know, the doesn't even compare to the flu that we ignore every year, or, you know, he's like, if it shuts down our economy to where people can't eat and they're depressed, he's like, you lose people that way too, like suicide and depression and all this. And we know that this is true. We're all grown enough that we all know that this is true. I'm saying both aspects are what I mean. It's kind of like so, okay. I'm just curious. Hang on a second. I think I'm just supposed to close my eyes for a second. You guys know those little garden gates that are like so Pinteresty cute, and they're just like wire? Almost, they're like white chalky lots of times, or sometimes they're just like dull metal. And it's like loops, almost like scrolly loops, and they look cute little garden gates. You know what I'm talking about? It's just like metal done like this, and sometimes it'll have a little insignia in it, you know. Okay, I just want y'all to get y'all on the same page with me, because that's what I'm seeing right now. I'm not sure. Hang on, I'm gonna mute. God, what are you trying to show me? Do one of y'all have one like that? Like a really cute, like old-timey gate? Little bitty, like I'm thinking it's like chippy white or real dull metal. It's just like loops, almost like those little things that they used to put in front of your like flower bed. Those little, there's gates that kind of look like that. Do one of y'all have one of those on your property somewhere? No, let me show you what I'm talking about, because I'm seeing it real plain.
Marianne, what she's describing almost sounds like the door you were talking about in your dream.
Oh. I need to read that again. Okay.
I mean, is Marianne on here?
Where is Marianne? Yeah, it shows she is. Let me show you. Okay, well, here's one similar to what. This is not exactly what I'm seeing, but it's kind of little old grandma looking gate. Okay, that's not exactly what I'm seeing. This one is has more of the little things and not as much of the outer frame. It's funny because every time I close my eyes, it comes right back into, is that like your, I didn't get that from your dream, but.
She described a door that had this arch on top. And that's where I'm making the connection.
Yeah. Okay.
Like a door, but it had this arch on top.
Okay.
It wasn't a gate by any stretch.
Gotcha. That makes sense. God, what kind of gates? Is there a phrase about gates of antiquity? Hey, I'm just going to Google. Because this looks very, very old. But not like ancient old. That looks like a game. Okay, hang on just a second. Let me see. I'm going to go lift up your head, O ye gates. Oh, yeah. Okay, I don't know what I'm fixing to read. I can't remember exactly what I'm about to read. But when I said that, lift up your heads, O ye gates, and be ye lifted up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is the King of glory? The Lord strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. Lift up your head, O ye gates, even lift them up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord of hosts. He is the King of glory. Selah, Selah, however you say that. Hold your horses, though, because there is a different version of that. That Amber and I one time, I didn't know there was another version that said this. So wake up. Let's see if this is the one. So wake up, you living gateways. Lift up your heads, you ageless doors of destiny. Welcome the King of glory, for he is about to come through you. Now, okay, this is taking me back and it's making me actually want to look up the date of when Amber and I went to a church last year, and there was a prophet there from Bethel. Yeah, I can't think of his name, but we were basically strangers in that church, kind of barely knew a few people, definitely didn't know him. We sat at the back like good guests, and that's the one who, that is actually Psalms. Oh yeah, it's the 24/7 gate. That's what Doug Addison said last year. He's like, God is about to open the 24/7 gate. And I asked God, how long will it be open? And God said 24/7. Doug Addison, you gotta love him, right? Okay, so he mentioned this scripture at his at the church. He said, how many gates do you know that have a head? And he's like, the gates are you, the gateways are you. I even remember a friend of someone who was on here. Okay, it was Christia, I'm gonna say it. A friend of Christia saying one time when I was talking about portals, she said something like, wait until your friend figures out that she is the portal. Like, we are. Not me, just not me, but we. Right? If we could be an ancient gate. So wake up, you living gateways. Lift up your heads, you ageless doors of destiny. Welcome the King of glory, for he is about to come through you. You ask, who is this glory king? The Lord armed and ready for battle, the mighty one, invincible in every way. So wake up, you living gateways, and rejoice. Fling wide the heavenly gates. Y'all know that song? Okay. Fling wide, you ageless doors of destiny. Here he comes. The King of glory is ready to come in. You ask, who is this King of glory? He is the Lord of victory. Hold your horses. I lost my spot. He is the Lord of victory, armed and ready for battle, the mighty one, the invincible commander of heaven's hosts. Yes, he is the King of glory. Pause in his presence. I love that version. I can't even tell it. Look, it sounds like Passion, but I can't really tell if that's what I pulled up. I think it is. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. God, wake up inside of me. Any gate of antiquity. God, wake up inside all of us. The ageless doors of destiny. God, we welcome the King of Glory to come through us. How freaked out would we be if Jesus came back and it looked like a Care Bear stare all across the world? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, if he came through us, if the King of Glory came back through us, who is this glory King? The Lord, armed and ready for battle, the mighty one, invincible in every way. So wake up, you living gateways. God, may I be a living gateway. Swing wide, you heavenly gates is, that's not what it says right here in the Passion Translation, but what is the song that says, prepare for the way of the risen Lord? Swing wide, ye heavenly gates. What is that song? Prepare the way of the risen Lord. So open up the door. And we're going to listen to that. I know what that is. Hang on. Let the music play. Let the streets resound with singing. I'm trying to get to the name of it. Songs that bring you peace. Dancers who dance upon injustice. Did you feel? Here we go. Did you feel the mountains tremble? We'll close it out with this, you guys. This, by the way, it's interesting. I'm gonna try to remember this. Jetty, write this down. Okay, so so first I saw a gate, just put gate. And then I looked up Psalm 24:7. Just put 24:7, Psalm 24:7. Then put lift up your heads, because that'll make me think of what was said at the church. And then put, did you feel the mountains tremble? Because chronologically, I feel like God is showing me something. I don't know if more of it will unfold. This is the first night that Amber and I went hood ratting around, which was Valentine's Day last year. We went to the railroad station. We started at a school, praying around school. Then we landed over at the railroad tracks, and God just put this song inside my head, the song we're about to listen to. And I feel like it's relevant right now. This should be very interesting. Here we go. Didn't share screen, did I? Here we go. Also, Jetty, put one more thing. Put Lou Engle. That is where I was at a Lou Engle thing that was for the Native Americans. You guys will remember this story that are on here all the time. I'm getting all these like, Okay, so we were, and God had shown Lou Engle that America's harvest would come once the natives forgave what the white men. And I remember just being like, like the thought of that. I was at it. It came here to my town. And then they had this sweet little native girl who was probably like 12 or 13 years old get up there, and they were like, you want to sing something, basically. And they gave her the microphone a cappella, and she started singing this song. I thought that'd be a good way to set the tone, since that really did happen. Hold on. I want you to see the words. Sometimes live is better. You'll see. I thought I saw lyrics on this one.
mountains are still trembling. Yes, I can feel it.
Too rainy? Is it too rainy? It'll get less rainy, I think.
Did you feel the mountains tremble? Did you hear the
Yeah, can't hear that one. We'll do one that's not a concert. It won't be as long either. Oh, hang on, add.
Please don't hurt me.
Yeah, this is more like 4 minutes. How about your Holy Spirit, you fire, fall?
Did you hear the rushing roar? When the people rose to sing out, Jesus Christ is the Lord. Did you hear the sound? When the lost people to sing out, Jesus Christ is the Lord.
Here it is, 20 I just want to do one last thing. I want to lift up a prayer for our whole legal system, law enforcement right now, military. God, we just ask for layers and layers and layers of protection on these people, and God, divine guidance on anything that they would be doing in this time, everything that they would be doing. I'm just imagining as military rolls out in different places, God, that they would be protected and divinely guided, and that not just America as a whole, you guys, you realize this is sort of a unifying thing that's going on across the globe. It's not just in America, but may we be more, maybe we be less single-minded, and may we be more humankind-minded in the things that we do, in the things that we say, in the things that we project from our heart. God, we thank you for what you ultimately are doing. Anything that doesn't bring you peace, that puts you in fear, step away from those things. In the trauma prayer, there's a line in there that says, basically rip the fear out. Turn off of those alarms that have been ringing for so long. And it says, give her godly discernment and to know when there is true danger. God, I ask that you would alert us if there is true danger. And instead, in those times when we could be deciding whether we choose to have faith or fear, that we may have faith in the things as they unfold. And may we know truth, and may we know it soon. I lift all of this up in Jesus' name. Thank you guys so much for getting on here. Another really long call, but what else is new, right? God bless all of you. As far as announcements go, I posted on my team page the ideas, and I'll post in the other group as well. And I also posted a screen capture that I took during when Jen Leith was talking about what they're going to be doing in the community group next month, right? Okay. So it would be really good. I'm one of those people, I'm a positioner. I guess, I don't know if it's called visionary or whatever, but I lots of times can see something in advance of it actually launching or landing or whatever. And I like to nook myself into the perfect little, with God. That's the big deal. I like to get myself strategically positioned to be ready. And so right now, spending your time that you've basically been given for free wisely. I'm not saying any of this is free was probably the way to say that, but I'm saying, yeah, you got all the time, right? If you use that time wisely and position yourself, forced time, that's right. I guess it depends on who you're living with and you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying how long you've had to stare at each other. But if you position yourself wisely right now, when the economy does what it's going to do, I mean, the minute that people can easily go out on date night again and without, I'm just saying, it's going to just go boom. And right now, honestly, is the time to talk about immune systems without being salesy. All the ideas I gave earlier. Right now is the time when you do have a captive audience, pretty much, because people are just literally glazing over and staring at their phones. Not glaring, glazing and staring. And I think it would be really smart to do clever posts and also just sharing from your heart, so that, and you have your list ready. You have been listening to motivational videos. I feel all of that will uniquely position you so that once the launch can happen again, I think the timing of these Plexus Ambassador community things couldn't be better, honestly. So I didn't know that that was going to come up in that video. I didn't even know, but I posted that in my team page, the screen capture of it. So yeah. You know, once upon a time, I used to have like a 30 days worth of ideas. I'm sure I probably do still somewhere. I'm not saying that they would all be relevant right now, but still you could kind of pick and choose and maybe modify some of the ideas of what you could have to say. Going live, telling your own story, any of that stuff would be great. So, okay, for real, closing it out. Thanks, you guys, for hopping on here tonight. See you next week. God bless.